Hey, how you doing? This is some guy named Jay, and this is another installment of the SNL podcast. This is part two of the review. All right, let me just go straight into I want to talk about the puppetry class. That skit, I was definitely feeling it. Bill Hader again, like I said in the first one, Bill Hader, man, I hope he's the Kristen Wiig of this season. I hope this character even comes back, in a different form. Not in a different form, not different form, but they somehow in another, kind of bring that back some kind of way. Not in a puppet class, but in another, another way. It was funny. It was funny how he was, working the puppet and strangling Keenan's character, and then, really making out with the other with Vanessa's puppet. I'm not really going to be reviewing. I'm not going to really be reviewing the musical guest, because I'm just going to stick strictly. I'm going to stick toy boat. I'm going to stick strictly to reviewing the comedy, not the music. I'm not much of a Frank Ocean fan. I do love R&B and and hip hop and things like that, and but I'm not much of a. I think the real reason Frank Ocean got here is because he came out the closet. If he wouldn't have come out the closet, I don't think he would have been the musical guest for the premiere. Because was his record really that big? Well, I don't know. Who's to say? Weekend update. Everybody hates on Seth Meyers, but I thought he did a good job. A lot of people said it was a little weak. Some of the jokes were weak, but he had some good ones in there too. The real stars of Weekend Update. Well, the real star was Seth MacFarlane doing Ryan Lochte. That was funny. That he really, that was funny. Making him like a dumb, big dumb athlete. I give it 5 swims. I give that impersonation 5 swims. Just for being funny. Vanessa Bayer doing Honey Boo Boo. That was, both Bobby Moynihan. They need to do that again too. Bobby Moynihan doing Mama, and Vanessa Bayer doing Honey Boo Boo. I've seen the show twice, not all the way through, just seen a little nip of the show, and I gotta let you know I lost 10 IQ points. I started losing motor skills after I seen the show. But I guess Americans they like this stuff, I guess. But I wasn't, it's my God, they want to talk about the Kardashians. Oh my God, this is one of the worst reality shows. Cecily strong, she came out strong with her. Well, I forgot the name. I should have wrote down the character. What was it called? I don't know. The Puerto Rican chick that she did. I'd like to see it again. And Jay Pharaoh, he didn't have any lines. But if Jay Pharaoh is not going to have any lines, he should be. You could be silent and be funny at the same time. I think Jay should have. He should have made the faces a little more or something. One of the critics was saying, "Oh my gosh, she's doing an accent, so that's supposed to be, okay, I'm doing an accent. Look at me, blah blah blah." But her segment actually even had some jokes in it. Even without the accent being strong, it had jokes to me. I thought it was funny. Oh my God, Sevy, he's big like this, Ghostbusters like that. Yeah, that was funny. I give Weekend Update 5 swims out of 5 swims. A lot of people were not really feeling the drill sergeant skit. And you know what? I want to say this before I want to kind of defend a little bit. I'm not a fan of one note, one joke skits. I'm not a fan of that stuff where they got one joke and it gets old. However, I want to defend this skit because even though the writing wasn't that good, they did a Will Ferrell on this skit. Because you know how Will Ferrell is kind of notorious for taking bad skits and bad ideas and bad writing and just kind of making it good. Like he'll be the one good thing in a bad skit. You know, and this all everybody in that skit, they pulled away. I mean, you know, they made it good. It was their performances, and even Seth MacFarlane's performance, his delivery and everything, the facial expressions, all of that, it made it funny. Like, even though it was the one joke, it got tiring. Okay, yeah, he stuttered. Do I stutter? And he kept stuttering. It got played out, but they kept making it good because their reactions to it. And Seth MacFarlane's got his delivery with it. I believe that this skit, if it was a different host and they had a different cast, like it wasn't Taran Killam and all these other guys, Fred Armisen and all that. If it was you know, if it was different guys and a different host, I think this skit would have been terrible, very terrible. But it's just that all the performers really came together and really, you know, put life into this. So I liked it, you know, especially when Fred Armisen looked back. Oh my God, it was great. The Steve Harvey skit, like I said, I don't like one note, one joke skits. But this one had some more kind of, it was layered in some different jokes. I mean, I know the main joke was he was making over the guy and made him over to look like himself. But what made it kind of good was like Seth MacFarlane talking about you know, talking about the, you know, people talking about he was the people mugged him and stuff, thinking that he was the you know, he got mobbed or whatever, is thinking he was a white guy in Boyz II Men. But then we found out there's no white guy in Boyz II Men. That was funny. The Vanessa's reaction, all that stuff. Like with Seth saying, "Well, I'm not going to say no in front of everybody." That was classic. I know I should probably just be subscribed. Forget it. Anyway, I'm kind of tongue tied right now. I don't know why. Keenan Thompson did it. Keenan Thompson doesn't really do good impersonations. To be real with you. But I like his Steve Harvey. I like his Bill Cosby, and I also like his Charles Barkley. You know, they're pretty good. You know, I mean, Keenan Thompson is no Jay Farrow when it comes to impersonations, but I do like his Steve Harvey though. You know, they better not. I don't want to see it again though. I don't want them to keep thinking they need to do another. Don't do this again. Don't do a makeover with another host and then do the same thing unless they spice it up and make it different. Let's see, the first date skit, the blind date skit. That was cool. And people actually, when I was looking at the skit, I was like, people actually talk like this. I mean, everybody's guilty of that. They'll say, "Oh," then my boss was like, "Hey, you better go in there and do that work." And then I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then the guy walked in. He was like, "Hey, man, people do that. People talk like that for real." So I did like it, and they kind of upped it a notch. Bill Hader coming through, that was great. I started picking at Bill Hader, and he was throwing the water on him and stuff. That was great. Nasim, yes. I mean, I don't know why it took her so long to have a line in this first episode, but you know Nasim's going to take over. You know, Nasim probably even had a hand in writing this skit. You know, I mean, I think Nasim is brilliant. You know, I really would like to see her doing a lot more this season. And Vanessa really surprised me too, because the first two seasons I really wasn't much of a fan of Vanessa, other than the Miley Cyrus show and a few things here and there that she did with Taran. But I mean, I really was like, oh, I can't. I'm not feeling her. You know, make it stop. But this episode, Vanessa played her part. You know, she really made herself useful. You know, I was feeling that second Frank Ocean song, that Cleopatra or whatever it was, Pyramids or whatever it is. And then the wooden spoon skit, you know what I think? One of the reviewers said something to this effect, saying that it didn't, even though it was a really short skit, it seemed like the skit was supposed to be longer, but they just took out everything and just got to the punchline, which was them reading out the www. Reading out the website. And it did kind of seem like that. It seemed like probably would have been a longer skit. They just kind of just got to the point, which they need to do that for more. Saturday Night Live needs to do a lot more stuff like that. Instead of doing a big long drawn out skit, just do a skit where it's just straight to the punch. You know, like that Jason Sudeikis did last season where he said, "Hey, well he was doing like a commercial, like one of those. Hey, you know what about some of the hits from the '80s? Sometimes I want to hear that." And then he stopped. He didn't say what. He didn't sell anything. He didn't say how you can get them. Like that was funny. Just like he just said that. And he turned around. That was great. You know, but yeah. Let's just to recap. I'm gonna talk about the featured players right quick. Aidy, Aidy Bryant. She had one line. But I mean, you know, she's a featured player. It's the first show, so you know, I'm still looking for. I mean, you know, I can't really judge her on that one line. Can't say she was great. Can't say she wasn't great. Tim Robinson, you know, he was just a guy. You know, he did good. He wasn't whack. I liked him. He was just kind of a regular guy in the skits. I want to see what kind of impersonations he can do. I mean, he doesn't really kind of look like anybody to me. But I wonder who he can do, if he can do impersonations. I mean, because I said the same thing about Andy Samberg, you know, when he first joined. I was like, he doesn't. Well, who is he going to do? But he actually did some great impersonations. So, and I hate to say it, Tim Robinson kind of looks creepy too. He looks like a creepy guy. like Will Forte and Paul Britton, they played creepy guys, but they didn't look creepy. You know, but Tim Robinson, I mean, he looks like you know, like he's like a peeping Tom masturbating outside your window kind of guy. You know, but I mean, you know, you can't really judge a book by its cover. Like, I'm just gonna judge him by his performance. But that's how he seems to me. And Kate McKinnon. Man, she looks crazy. She does. I mean, her eyes, man. Like she. Since we're talking about people that look kind of creepy, Kate McKinnon. I mean, she always has that like a crazy stare. Like she seems like she's like somebody. She looks like she would play a villain in a Lifetime movie. Well, I ain't gonna say a villain in a Lifetime movie because usually a villain in a Lifetime movie is a guy. You know what I mean? Like she looks like, I don't know, like some crazy, like have a machete outside and stand over your bed or something. You know, it looking at you crazy. That's how she. But she's funny though. They're all funny. Cecily Strong, that was good. You know, she did good. The only featured player that really, you know, had something had their own piece. So I'm really expecting her to do a lot, you know, in these next upcoming shows. Jay Farrell did his thing. I would like to see Jay Farrell in more skits other than just him doing impersonation. You know, he seems like a Frank Caliendo or something. Like they just call him in, he just do his impersonation, and he's not really in skits or anything. Like how Frank Caliendo was on MadTV. Basically, just overall, I'd give this whole show 5 swims. No, 4.5 swims. You know, because I thought every skit was funny. Even the lids was. I mean, it got some laughs out of me, but you know, I thought that was the weakest link. And a lot of people want to say that the drill sergeant was the weakest thing, but I liked how they pulled that off. You know, I think if it was different people or different cast, it wouldn't have worked. You know, could you imagine, like, I don't know, even if it was like Justin Timberlake, he probably didn't even do it. Justin Timberlake, he's another guy that just makes everything good. I don't even think Alec Baldwin. I'm not saying that Seth MacFarlane is as good as they are as hosting, but I mean, you know, it just seems like they did it. They did their thing in that one note skit. That's all I want to say. As I start reviewing